Hi, my name is Karthik Maheshwari and I head the startup practice at the firm. I'm going to be speaking to you about the union budget which was announced earlier today by the finance minister and specifically in relation to startups. The union budget comes in the backdrop of an entire policy for startups which was unveiled by the government in January 2016. At the event, the Prime Minister launched a framework for reforms for startups which was in the form of an action plan. A number of reforms specifically which in relation to tax were introduced as part of the action plan, which were expected to be notified in the union budget. In addition to that, a lot was also expected to be done as part of the union budget in which this momentum would be taken forward. However, it does not appear that the finance minister has gone beyond what the action plan had proposed and has provided for all of those reforms which were just provided in the action plan. Now, diving straight into it, firstly, eligibility criteria laid down for claiming exemptions. The action plan laid down eligibility criteria for startups which could avail of exemptions under the Income Tax Act, specifically for tax exemptions. The action plan provided that this could be an entity which was which could have been a company, a limited liability partnership, or a partnership registered under the Indian Partnership Act. This entity had to be in existence for less than 5 years, should have had a turnover of less than 25 crores, and should be engaged in a new and innovative business or providing a new and innovative service. What this new and innovative business was considered as something which was not already in existence and was therefore considered as innovative. And to be considered as innovative, the action plan provided for the startup to be certified by an interministerial board as being an entity that is engaged in innovative business, therefore eligible to claim benefits. This concept was further crystallized by the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which came out with a definition of startups which was consistent with the definition laid down in the action plan. The budget, however, has continued on most fronts with the same definition and has therefore continued, with the requirement of the turnover of less than 25 crores, an entity which has been in existence for less than 5 years. However, it appears that the budget has narrowed this concept by restricting this only to companies, because the definition of an eligible startup is defined as a company that is engaged in an eligible business. Therefore, it appears that the budget has further narrowed this concept from what was earlier proposed under the action plan and by the DIPP, which would greatly constrain entrepreneurs and founders from structuring their business, and is something that we expect that it should be clarified soon enough. In terms of other requirements, the certification from an interministerial board continues under the union budget as well. The DIPP recently notified that this interministerial body would consist of a representative from the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Ministry of Science and Technology, and Department of Biotechnology. The current composition of this interministerial board suggests that it's fairly narrow and it doesn't cover all kinds of possible startups or startup entities that could possibly apply for exemptions tomorrow, and is something that could be considered by the government to be expanded. In terms of other exemptions, the action plan provided for income tax exemption for startups for a period of 3 years. This exemption has been notified under the union budget, which has been released today. This exemption has been introduced in the form of a deduction, and any entity which is making a corporate profit is allowed to deduct 100% of that corporate profit from its profit and therefore eligible to claim this exemption. However, there are a couple of restrictions which are imposed along with this exemption. Firstly, this needs to be availed of by an entity for 3 consecutive years within a period of 5 years from the date of its incorporation. Secondly, and most importantly, what has happened is that the government has not exempted startups from minimum alternative tax. Therefore, this means that for the years that the entity is claiming for exemption from corporate taxes at the rate of 30% plus surcharges, it will still be liable to be taxed at MAT, which is at 18.5%. Now, moving on, another exemption which was introduced in the action plan, which has been given effect under the budget, is that of capital gains. Exemptions were looked at from two perspectives. One was capital gains which were earned from the sale of a long-term capital asset and which were invested into a fund of fund which was notified by the government. This has been provided for in the budget along with a couple of restrictions. The restrictions are that it needs to be any such investment into a fund of funds needs to be held for a period of at least 3 years, and secondly there's a maximum cap of 50 lakh rupees of the gains which can be invested into such fund of funds. The intention of coming up with this capital gains exemption for investments which is made into a fund of funds was essentially to help the government build a huge corpus of money which would then in turn invest in other funds which would invest into startups. Another exemption which has been provided, and this would be applicable to most individual entrepreneurs which are starting out, would be that an entrepreneur, an individual or an HUF that owns a residential property and sells this residential property and invests the capital gains on this earned from the sale of this property into the subscription of shares of an entity is eligible to claim capital gains exemption. However, to avail of this exemption, there are a couple of restrictions which have been imposed. Firstly, an individual which is claiming this exemption must own at least 50% of the entity in which he is making this investment. Secondly, since this is an extension of Section 54GB of the Income Tax Act, the money that is received by the company in terms of subscription money must be used to purchase new computers or software. This has been specifically introduced to provide for startups in the technology space. Lastly, an extension of Section 54GB of the securities of this company must be held for a period of 5 years at least for an individual or HUF to claim of this exemption. So these were the major reforms which were introduced in terms of tax for startups. There were a couple of other reforms which were envisaged as part of the action plan, more specifically in terms of Section 56 of the Income Tax Act and the exemption which was accorded to foreign venture capital investors right now was proposed to be extended to incubators as well. However, this has not been included in the fine print of the budget. Secondly, there were a couple of other reforms which were widely expected by the industry, which included service tax relief as well as relief from Section 56 for angel investments received from angel investors. However, this has also not been announced. The startups had huge expectations from the budget in light of the various reforms that have been introduced from the announcement of the action plan, and are hopeful that from when the bill becomes an act, additional reforms are also introduced over and above what was proposed in the action plan. Thank you.